Last summer and fall, violent crime skyrocketed in Brooklyn Park. So much so, elected city leaders urged quick action. But so far this year, there are some promising signs. Brooklyn Park released violent crime data from the first 3 months of this year. The city's police chief says it's welcome news, but there's still work to be done. Reporter Sonia Goins has more.
Pafua, what a difference a year makes. Newly released data from the Brooklyn Park Police Department shows violent crimes are down so far this year compared to the same time period last year.
Our violent crime was up significantly. In 2021, we're sitting in a better place.
Police Chief Craig Invelson says that they were worried last year when the city saw an increase in violent crimes like murder, rape, robbery, and aggravated assaults.
Violent crime in comparison to 2020 is down about 8.3%.
The early numbers show thefts and aggravated assaults are both down through the first 3 months of this year. However, burglaries are slightly up.
First 2 months, we were not in a good place in comparison to 2020. Thus far in March, we are much lower than we were in 2020.
What remains to be seen is what will happen following the Derek Chauvin trial. Invelson says the lack of trust in police contributed to the higher number of incidents last year.
I can share with you just last week, Brooklyn Center was performing CPR on someone in a parking lot, and they had to call for us to go down and help them with crowd control because the crowd was trying to get Brooklyn Center to not be doing CPR on this individual in the parking lot.
The city is doing several things to cut down on violence and gain the trust of the public. It's doing street outreach and is using Marie Ridgway and Associates to deal with trauma and mental health issues. Meanwhile, the chief says he's worried about staffing shortages and how it will impact keeping the peace. The chief says that they are projected to be down 13 officers in May. Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Residents and businesses in Maple Grove now have a new way to get emergency alerts from the city.
This is Tim Bush, Emergency Manager for the City of Maple Grove, with an important message for all residents and businesses located in Maple Grove.
That's part of a message Maple Grove residents and business owners received this week, letting them know that the city is now part of the CodeRED community notification system. People can receive alerts through email or text message for things like severe weather, crime, road construction, and community events. Learn more about how to sign up for CodeRED by going to the Maple Grove website. When the COVID-19 pandemic began more than a year ago, workers had to adjust to working from home. I caught up with a Plymouth company where many of those workers still haven't gone back into the office. At Nonin Medical in Plymouth, empty desks and quiet halls are no longer an unfamiliar sight.
Yeah, so the day-to-day has, certainly changed.
About 80% of Nonin employees have been working remotely since the start of the pandemic.
With a few exceptions, so our production workers, for example, are all on site.
The production workers include those that help assemble medical devices that Nonin makes. Christine Horton says in the last year, the company found working remotely had no effect on productivity.
Been a lot of benefits to working remote, so you don't get ready in the same way. Maybe it doesn't take up as much of your time. Certainly the commute, not having to commute, less travel, all of those things allow you to focus more on the work at hand and the business that needs to get done.
Furthermore, the flexible working spaces allowed families to have a work-life balance.
Working parents that are in remote locations are like my new superheroes. The fact that they were able to be productive and balance taking care of their kids and their families during all of this is just amazing.
Even when it's safe to come back into the office, as of right now, workers can still choose where they want to work.
Staying in that flexible space is really what is best for the business, but best for the employees. And we want to stay adaptive and recognizing what are the needs of individuals and how to best include individuals into the work.
As Nonin employees look forward to life after COVID, they say the journey has definitely strengthened the work dynamic.
But it's not just talking about business, but it's talking about how are you doing today? What do you need from me? How can I help you?
Meanwhile, the Maple Grove City Council has approved a new medical office building for a fast-growing retail area near Maple Grove Hospital. The one-story building along Hospital Drive is nearly 6,000 square feet, slightly larger than the initial concept. City officials say the building will be a great addition to the surrounding development. Construction is expected to start this spring and be completed by December. A local nonprofit says the path to tackling hunger is helping people find good jobs. Interfaith Outreach is calling all hiring managers, industry leaders, and community connectors to join in on a virtual event called Build the Network. They will learn how the pandemic has impacted job seekers and how they can help create networks to bridge the right people to the right jobs.
We saw unemployment surge 85% this year due to COVID-19. So a lot of community members looking for work, looking for quality jobs that can really pay a living wage. So we know that we've got great employers in our community who are looking for talented local neighbors to fill those needs, and we can be that bridge.
The event is on April 14th and is part of Interfaith Outreach's Prevent Hunger campaign. It's grand reopening week at Cooper High School. On Tuesday, 9th grade students reported to class for the first time this year. Students in the orchestra and choir performed for the freshmen when they arrived. Here's a snippet of what it sounded like.